Like I use myself because relationships are always looked at as married and boyfriend and girlfriend. Relationships are just period. It's not just the dating shit.
Mm.
I'm a high school teacher. The reason why a lot of kids, excuse me, the reason why a lot of students are, excuse me, the reason why a lot of adults are good teachers because they don't get the psychology behind the shit. They just get the rules and they don't understand the psychology of it. I'm up here with a panel full of men, so this is like my style. I'm set in my ways, and I know what I know. Everything that I know is from experience. So I would never debate any of y'all. Only if somebody try to disrespect me, that's different. But I'm not passionate enough to try to prove to somebody what I think already. Like that's not my vibe. Like I like peace. I don't go back and forth with people at all. That's just who I am. So a woman who's like that ain't gonna fly. But a woman that's kind of laid back and chill, we gonna have a good time because she don't want the conflict either. So you see, we gonna match. So that's my little vibe.
I'm talking about they got to be serious people, one, and they got to be men that actually have that frame in their relationship. If they don't have that, this is a waste of time. I mean, if you out here capping, saying, if you don't do this, well, I'm leaving, or you gonna have to get out, and they don't really mean it, and it's all cap. They don't want the smoke that's about to come from that woman. You don't have a spine, brother. Like that's not you're not serious. You're not a serious person. So I'm not talking to those guys. If you're not serious in your relationship and you don't have that type of umph in your relationship, that type of swag in your relationship, that type of control, that type of frame and respect in your relationship, then that's some other shit. And I can't get down with that, and I can't really speak to it. So,
all right, let me get Sir Haley now. Go ahead, Sir Hale. What are your thoughts?
One, this is a really good statement question. Yeah, I do think that men who nitpick don't have boundaries. But here's what I think really is going on here. A lot of men are afraid to hurt women's feelings, and they'll say stuff, little nitpicky stuff, hoping she gets the big picture of what the real issue is, and he just keeps on nitpicking. It comes off as weak, but I think it's because so many men don't want to hurt the feelings of the woman that they're with. This comes back to what my brothers just said moments ago. When you have clear boundaries, you got to be okay with saying exactly what it is you mean and then standing on that. And if she can't respect that, and it's always it's one thing when you ask something that's difficult and it takes her growing into that. But for little small stuff that could just be changed with you just listening, that's a problem. And that to me means she doesn't respect you enough, that she's not hearing you, and that for the most part, she knows you're probably not going nowhere anyway, right? So I think men got to be very clear, and I do think that men need to have clear boundaries. And I would even say this: even if you start a relationship and you didn't have them, when you start to see that you need them, you got to establish it right then. And either she's going to respect those boundaries you put in place, or she's not. And whatever she does will let you know whether or not she's the woman for you. So I think this statement is very true. Men who nitpick don't have boundaries.
I'm going to Purple Pill.
Or balls.
Yeah, kind of like what everybody's been saying. I really agree with all of it. But just to kind of go back to something else earlier, age plays a huge role in this. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I was nitpicky when I was young, but it's because my girls were trying to go out to the club, trying to go do all this. It's like, why are you wearing that? Why are you doing this? Like, you're more nitpicky when you have no boundaries. And when I was young, I didn't know how to. I have 4 sisters. You know how much I got called insecure and all types of shit because I tried to assert some kind of boundary or something by my family. Like, there's so many people that were, leading me astray, and I had no boundaries. So it took me years for me to learn how to actually have that kind of boundary and to be able to have that kind of frame. I don't think you get it instantly. So yeah, I'll say that guys definitely nitpick a shit ton when they don't have boundary. I've seen it personally. So if there's, but that's why it comes back to the age thing. I really believe that guys shouldn't, get serious. I mean, if you get lucky and you find a girl when you're 18 to 23 and you find a girl that's only had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bodies, maybe, definitely go ahead, like snatch them up and try to get married early. But a lot of guys, man, for them to have a good frame and shit, they're not gonna have that confidence and shit until they're 30 plus. And guys that are young, if you're nitpicking, it's because you're too young and you haven't built up your confidence yet. You haven't accomplished shit yet. You need to go accomplish some more, build your frame, and then a girl's gonna walk into it, and it's not gonna be hard for you to hold it.
Hey, look, let me say this too, and this is just my vibe, but I would say for men, don't settle down until you travel, bro, because the women in different places are so different. Like I couldn't imagine. I've been to New York, and I'm from Oakland, so I got Oakland vibes. So if you're from Oakland, you know we got a vibe. It's different. Like so, if I only live
Ghost
there,
ride the whip.
yeah, we a different vibe.
Ghost ride the whip.
Or just like when you go to Houston, it's a whole different thing than Atlanta. Like, you know, like Atlanta chicks. You can go to Atlanta chicks, all the women out there, they got their shit together, they got a house because there's so many of them. You know, down here it's more gentrified. So when you date in the Bay Area now, it's a whole different thing, different types of people. You go to New York, then you go to Jersey, it's a different vibe. Miami over there, it's a different vibe. And then, you know, if you want to break out out the country, Germany, different vibe. Paris, different vibe. You know what I mean? Like people be thinking niggas was in Paris is because it's some fly shit out there. No, because there's hella black cats in Paris walking around on TV and everything. Like just knowing all of this shit, you know, Brazil, Colombia, even the cats that travel, man. I'd be disappointed. There's way more places than Colombia, Brazil, and Thailand. Bro, go to Africa, South Island, Morocco, man. You do all of this shit. I'm naming places that I've been. And that's what I like to do. Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia. That all that shit I named was from 2022 till right now. That ain't even lifetime shit. That's 1 year type of shit. So that keeps me fucking busy. And you just get to have a different appreciation of life when you see how other people live. It makes you more relatable. You know, it's just everything, you know. So I would just say everybody just don't even just travel for just like LA, different. Like there are all these places, and it's like you can go there and some people don't. They just deal with the women who they either went to school with, high school with, college, or the dating apps. That's their only pool, bro. You got to be international, or at least across the states, and just even if you just experience it, man. And then when you find somebody that you like, you can just really appreciate it because you done been there. I done dealt with a lot of women, so when I do settle down, I know the value of her because I know the bullshit out there. Because it's a lot of bullshit, you know what I mean? So there you go. That's my monologue.
All right. Go ahead, Trigger Mike.
I had to look up what this word nitpicking meant. It's not really in the Nigerian American vocabulary. So I have better context now. You have to excuse me because I didn't know how much tequila I put in my margarita earlier. And I apologize if I'm slurring my words. And that's interesting that you say, Alfie, that you're from Oakland. Because somebody in the chat said you sound like Aaron O. He's from Oakland. And y'all sound exactly alike. That's crazy, y'all. Like,
look, just real quick. I remember like New York. I remember the first time because I'm like I'm a smooth Snoop type cat. So when I went to New York for the first time, my shit wasn't working. And then I was like, okay, because you see the movies, hey, yo, shorty. I'd be like, why the fuck they be doing that? And then I went there and I was just like, okay, now I see why they be doing that. Because you be trying to be cool with it. They gonna look at you upside down, walk right past you. I'm asking police officer questions. They ignoring me. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all police. Y'all supposed to help me whenever I ask. So, you know, it's just, it'd be so different. Yeah, I remember it took me like a whole day to get one phone number because I was just like, man, what's up? Am I picking the wrong ones? It was blasting my ass because, you know, talk up. I was just too smooth for their ass, man. So, but here, it flowed. So it's different.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think for the men who nitpick don't have boundaries. That is very true. I think men nitpick because they don't understand their nature is to be methodical, and that goes back to what someone said. We have an entire I can't even blame the men anymore. I can't, because when you look, I mean, in certain communities, at the percentage of men that were raised solely by women, it is no surprise to anyone why they adopted so many of these behaviors.